Happy Monday morning to you, fellas. Hopefully you're doing well. Your week is off to a nice start, coming off a weekend in which I hope you guys had a fantastic time. You guys were able to enjoy your sports. How about Jon Rahm winning the 2023 Masters? Let me know in that comment section if you were able to cash yourself a Jon Rahm future, or if you had the heartbreak of holding on to Brooks Koepka, which, damn if that didn't look good all the way through the weekend up until maybe Saturday, Sunday. Let me know if you suffered a heartbreak of maybe losing a Brooks Koepka future ticket. But all in all, just a fantastic weekend. Of course, baseball is in full swing going on right now. I already mentioned the Masters, and you got the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs right around the corner. So a good time to sit back, talk some sports, and talk some sports betting as well. We like to kick off every show by making sure we recap the previous day. In this course, in case because it's Monday, we'll be doing a little Monday Sunday where we get to recap the entire week. So let's go ahead and do that. See if we get to ring the cash register, and then let's see where we're going to be today, placing some soccer, NHL, NBA, and NBA bets as well. So throw that recap up where we do get to ring that cash register, coming off a 22-14 week at plus 6.44 units. Love to see that right there. Hit that like button if you were part of that 22-14 and plus 6.44 units. Always love hearing that cash register. Now year to date, sitting really good. A lot of wins and a lot of losses. How about plus 14.26 units? Wasn't all that long ago we were in 2023 and full-on stumbling, but boy, we turned that around, and now we're sitting good. Again, over 14 units to the good. Arbitrage year to date may have slowed down. I'm surprised by the lack of MLB profit boost that we've been not getting, and most notably from DraftKings. I remember last season, coming out of the gates, they were every single day giving you a boost. They've now transitioned to the stepped up same game parlays, which just aren't able to be arbitraged, but we're still coming along each and every day, scraping a few bucks along, and now we're year to date $482. I think that is really outstanding, just about 3.5 or so months in. So a lot of good free money in your pocket. Let's talk about those good wins and bad losses from last week, starting off obviously with those wins where you got to talk about the Tampa Bay Rays, obviously the hottest team in baseball, 9-0. The only undefeated team left in baseball. Hard to say they're not the best team in baseball, but then you do got to factor in the caliber opponents, right? They've played the Tigers, they've played the Nationals, and they played the Oakland Athletics, but you can only play who's in front of you, and boy, they've been kicking ass. And last week, they were really good to us. They cashed 3 F5 team totals, and then we also got an F5 run line to go ahead and cash with those Rays. So it's clearly back the Rays until they back off, until they cool off, which I don't know if they're going to cool off this Monday against Nick Pivetta. We'll talk about that a little bit later on the payoff pitch, but man, they were really good to us last week, again going 4-0. Were those Tampa Bay Rays? How about team totals last week? We've kind of talked about, if you've been following now for a couple MLB seasons, you know the style of handicapping that I do. It kind of gravitates towards those F5 team totals. And last week we put in 14 F5 team totals. And how about cashing 11 of those 14 team totals? Love to see that right there. 2 of our cash cows were in action last week, and we went 2-0 with those cash cows. What about Mitch Keller? Over 1.5 walks. Sweaty as all hell. We all remember that. Picked up an early walk and then really just found his groove and then walked the second batter until the 6th inning. So sweaty, but the cash cow comes through, and that's what the cash cow does to us more times than not, delivering a good cash. He did that, and Zach Greinke under 1.5 walks. You got that one at plus money. Look, guys, keep betting that one because it's going to go away quick. We're going to bet it today, obviously. DraftKings has it at minus 120. The other sports books that does it is Caesars. I'm not aware of any other sports book that does it other than Caesars and DraftKings. Caesars already has it at minus 170. That's what we saw last year, is getting up into that minus 200 range where it becomes just a parlay piece. So get on it today. There may not be that many more weeks where we can take Zach Greinke under 1.5 walks, but it damn felt good having our 2 cash cows deliver us with good cashes last week. Next one there is Maeda and Molly. Went up against the Marlins, right? Nobody was striking out more than the Marlins against right-handed pitching last week, and we went back-to-back starts taking those twin starters, and they both deliver us a good cash. Dylan Cease over 7.5 cash. That was another good one. Got a late winner, dramatic cash on the last batter, last pitch of the game. He got his 8th strikeout in a game in which boy, his pitch count was getting out of control, walking 5, I think it was some batters as well. Woo, we got a good dramatic cash. Love to see that right there. And what about Corbin Carroll? Stole another bag over the weekend against Noah Syndergaard. Just a dream matchup coming out of the gate. A player that we talked about preseason, his speed being the top in baseball. Then you pair him up with Noah Syndergaard, who's allowed the most stolen bases since 2020. Yeah, we've been rewarded with another good cash there of Corbin Carroll swiping a bag. And then how about Leeds and Nottingham? Over 4.5 cards. Good plus money cash. Another one that came late, came in injury time. But love those late winners. Boy, they just make you really feel good when you get that late cash. And that's what happened in that game, going over 4.5 cards in that matchup. Let's talk about some of those tough losses, though. How about soccer? 1-4 this past weekend. We mentioned the one win being a good plus money cash there in Leeds and Nottingham. Otherwise, it was really tough. Losing an Arsenal money line up 2-0, let Liverpool get a late first half goal, and then a second half goal that, to be fair, it kind of felt like it was coming. Liverpool, was better in the second half, while Arsenal wasn't as good in that first half. They were unable to get that third goal. And Liverpool punished them, just hung around and did just enough in that second half to get an equalizer and end that game 2-2. It really helps out in the title race, but didn't help us out as much. And then otherwise, soccer put in 3 parlays and lost all 3, right? Midweek, Manchester United, Brentford couldn't get 2 goals in that game. Lose our over 1.5 goals parlay over the weekend, and also lose our soccer parlay over the weekend in the Premier League. So obviously, the big takeaway from that is if the bets aren't good enough for a single play, just don't make the parlay, right? You're doing 3-legged parlays and barely getting this to, plus money. In one of those cases, it was at minus 115. Just lay off. Just lay off. No reason to put in 3 parlays and lose all 3 parlays. So really tough on the soccer this week. What about the Guardians? Boy, they were tough to us this past week. Remember, they lost a money line parlay where they were unable to beat the Athletics with Shane Bieber on the mound, letting the Athletics walk off that game in the 9th inning. And then also took their F5 team total in a parlay with the Brewers, and they were unable to cash that. So the Guardians couldn't come through for us twice last week, giving us 2 losses. Wisniewski, over his strikeout, just couldn't quite get it done, was on the hook right there on his last batter, just needed that last K on a 1-2 count, and he lets the man slap a single, and that manager had seen enough and went ahead there and gave him the pull. So tough one right there. You're on the hook right there, and you get an opportunity on a 1-2 count, and unfortunately couldn't quite put him away. Freeland, under 3.5 Ks, just a game in which we really could have just gone completely opposite. If he doesn't get help from Profar in that first inning to rob him of a 2-run home run, if Profar doesn't come back in the second inning and make an outstanding diving catch, those are 2 innings that, would have gotten longer, would have added to his pitch count, and would have also given up runs, to the Nationals, which, possibly could have knocked him out, preventing him from going over 3.5 Ks, but it didn't happen. And O's and Rangers was the first time this year we've been tripped up due to an injury. It's going to happen over the course of the season. And that was the first time where Kyle Bradish, remember, took that line drive off his leg, knocked him out, and completely changed that game in terms of handicapping, because now, the Rangers go from getting a right-hander to a left-hander, and that changed everything completely. But still just an outstanding week at 22-14 and plus 6.44 units. Love to see that right there. And really just continues, a 3-week hot stretch. We mentioned maybe being cooled off, earlier on in 2023. But look at those last 3 weeks. We are absolutely heating up. And over 24 units have won over those last 3 weeks. So love to see that right there. And MLB, I shared this with you guys after the first day. Told you guys I was going to do a more detailed, MLB recap throughout the season. And we'll be doing these every Monday. You can just kind of see where the money's being made so far in the MLB season. One weekend, you can see we've won over 10 units, almost 11 units, so really outstanding. And mentioned, most of the bets are going to be from those F5 team totals, and you can see that down, on that list right there, won over 6 units on those F5 team totals. And that's what you can expect, right? The volume of the bets will be the F5 team totals. And the great thing about the F5 team totals is, you're getting them around even money. The worst we've paid is minus 115, but most of those are around are good plus even money. That's why, you've got 6 more wins and you're bringing along with that six units to the good because of the value that you get with those F5 team totals. So love that right there. You can see pitching props have been good, NRFIs have been good, and obviously batting props as well. So we got to pick it up on the parlays and the F5 overs. That'll come, but that's where you can see. That's what we've done the first week of the MLB season. So just really stinking good, winning over 10 units and almost 11 units to the good. So love that right there. Let's go ahead and recap those MLB dogs while we're at it, and then we'll go ahead and jump on into the comments section and see what you guys are up to. I have no idea what the dogs have been up to. Let's see. We bought the dogs over Saturday, and we bought the dogs Sunday, of course. But let's see. $92. So the dogs on the MLB season, of course, we started off with $100. So it's easy to track this, right? We're down 7 units and 7.32 units, or 33. 7.33 units. So, yeah, the dogs they're just not barking. They're just not barking. We've got Barstool thinks there's 14 MLB games today. Let's see how many MLB games there are today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep, somebody's not in action. They've got them all up. So let's go ahead and buy our dogs. We got to give this another week, fellas. I mean, it's only one weekend, 10 days, and I think it's a little too early, a little premature to go ahead and pull the plug on these MLB dogs. I'm going to give it one more week, and then, like I said, we'll just take the remaining money and just kind of have some fun and build some parlays and see if we can't split some profits together. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So let's give it one more week, though, see if the dogs can't get some bark into them as we come on into the real second week of the MLB season. But so far, definitely not good. Anybody who's trying to tell you otherwise is just not telling you the truth. I mean, it's just not quite good, quite frankly. So. All right, those are all 14 dogs. They've been bought today. Boy, let's see if those dogs can't turn it around on this MLB season. So, all right, let's hop on into this comment section. Of course, we've got Payoff Pitch coming up live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I've got 8 bets on today's MLB slate. Most of them I've already given out on Twitter, but there will be some new bets as well to give away on the Payoff Pitch as well. So, hop on in that comment section. What's up, Greg? What's up, my man? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're coming off a nice weekend. What's up, Steven? You hit Rom plus 900 pre-tournament and Kopech on the meltdown. Love to see that, Steven. Nice hit, my man. Nice hit, Steven. You guys have been on a good little future run. Saeed hitting UConn in the national championship. Steven coming in with the Rom pre-tournament plus 900. Love to see that. Appreciate it, DGen. It has been a fun 3 weeks. It's been a nice little roll, but of course we put our head down. We act like we haven't made a penny, and we keep on grinding. You know how it is. Morning, Ross. Good morning, my man. So that's it, fellas. You guys know we don't really give away a ton of bets anymore on this daily show, per se. We do have Champions League coming up this week, so we will look to bet it, but I think it's going to be tough. Is everybody going both teams to score over 2.5 in Bayern, Manchester City tomorrow? Now, we've seen that bet bite people in the ass this Champions League. Remember Dortmund, Chelsea? Remember Bayern, PSG? I think that was one maybe you just got to sit back and enjoy. Yeah, it could be high scoring, but it also could go the complete opposite direction, which is what we've seen in matches where you think you get goals. So I don't know. Still going to go through that one. Hope to get on some Champions League bets, obviously on tomorrow's show with Champions League returning this week. But yeah, can't wait. Can't wait. But that's where we sit. Good 3 weeks, doing good. Just got to keep grinding. Look forward to this Payoff Pitch. I think there's a great, absolutely great MLB slate today. Patrick Corbin Day. Who's already got in their Angels team totals or their Angels F5 team totals? You guys already fading Patrick Corbin today? It's Patrick Corbin Day, baby. Love to see that right there. Love it. All right. I'm going to go get us a Hockey Squirrel. We got about 5 minutes till the start of Payoff Pitch. I'll come back then. And again, let's talk some Monday MLB slate. Really good slate to help you guys put money in your pocket. So, all right, fellas. I'll be back in a little bit. Oh, yeah. Probably should have put this in the... I'm back, by the way. Probably should have put this before I put the slate up because now nobody will see this. But there's no show tomorrow. My son has a school thing where, like, the parents can come in and observe their kid in the school. It's 2 hours long. Of course, it's, in the morning, kind of like definitely during this time. But then, it takes half hour to get there, half hour to get home. So no show tomorrow of any kind, no daily show, no payoff pitch, none of that. So all bets tomorrow will come out via Twitter. So, and then obviously we'll come back with you guys on Wednesday for the payoff pitch, and then obviously Wednesday here for this little daily show recap that we like to do. So yeah, no show tomorrow. All right, be back. Hey there, baseball fans. It's a new week here on the Payoff Pitch, and thank you guys for joining us live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, powered by Bet Openly. If you haven't gone and checked them out yet, there's a link down in this video description. Go check out Bet Openly. We've got the Hockey Squirrel with us each and every single day, as always. What's going on, Squirrel?
Hey man, coming off a massive weekend, massive Sunday actually, and it was a 16 wins and 7 loss day for, I believe, 8.5 units, something around there, 8.25. So yeah, coming off that, it is a lot of volume, right? You just sit there. There was a push in there as well. So 24 plays in total. There was NBA for a lot of it, MLB, one hockey play. There was only 2 games yesterday. And today, we're left with no NBA. We're left with MLB and quite a bit of hockey. Actually, we have a week until the playoffs start for hockey, and we're approaching that time for NBA as well. So kind of exciting, still taking high volume while we can. And, that's really where I try to gain my edge is in the higher volume area. So, I got a lot of MLB today, though. I'm loaded up. I got some props, and we're all ready to go. So.
Nice. I know the viewing audience will love that. Yeah, I saw your bets that obviously you messaged me a few minutes ago. Yeah, you've got some great stuff to share with the people. Great opening week in MLB for me. I went 29-18 and plus 10.73 units. That's right, plus 10.73 units in the opening MLB week. So obviously look to.
I think I'm somewhere around there as well. On.
Yeah, so love that. If you want a more breakdown view of how we made almost 11 units in the MLB season, you can go check out my Twitter page, and I've got a breakdown there on Twitter of the hitting props, batting props, overs, unders, what have you. You can kind of see where the sweet spot has been so far this MLB season. So go check that out on Twitter. And then one other thing to go ahead and share with you guys, there will be no show tomorrow. No payoff pitch. My son has a school function, so we'll go ahead and take tomorrow off and then come back with you guys Wednesday live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So hate to miss with you guys. Been super fun hanging out with you guys every single day. But yeah, do got to miss tomorrow and resume on Wednesday. With that being said, let's just jump right on into the action. A great Monday slate here on the Payoff Pitch. Squirrel, we call it Around the Bases. We like to take a couple games and break them down. Which one do you want to go ahead and kick the show off with?
Yeah, I just took a look, by the way. So after the first 9 days of April, I'm 47-35 in the MLB. So that puts me up 11.77 units. So doing very, very well. 57.3% win rate so far after 9 days. So again, self-plug, if you're looking for honest, transparent tracking and an experience and a community that is willing to help you, you have a chat and everything. It's a little bit more for the serious bettors. You got to be, close to your computer and ready to make picks as they move very fast. But Hockey Squirrel may be something to look into the Discord channel. Moving into Around the Bases, you said we take a couple of games, and normally we do. Normally I like to spread it around a little bit, but there's 2 picks in the same game that I'm very fond of. I'm going to go straight into the Colorado Rockies game today, and I think the most apparent thing for me was to take an over. I was looking at it, eyeing it pretty hard last night. I was lucky enough to find at Barstool still, which is a god-awful book, but I got the number regardless. Over 11 at minus 114 is my play. I think a lot of the world is now 11.5. We still need 12 either way to win this. I just stand a chance at pushing, but I think you should still see over 11 runs. You have Steven Matz, who is a left-handed pitcher at Coors Field going against the Rockies, who hit left-handed pitching and are particularly good at home. This has been a trend. I don't typically follow trends unless they really stand out, but the Rockies over trend and the left-handed trend is something to follow. There is a trend later as well with a pitcher, particularly that I might get to. You hopefully you know who that is. Maybe 2 pitchers actually, but I'll take the Rockies on the money line and I'll take the over. I mean, you're getting plus 130 against a left-handed pitcher. They're at home, and you're getting Coors Field, where I think both pitchers I'm not the most fond of. I think it's what is it? Herman Marquez or Domingo Herman? One of the two. I always get them mixed up. Isn't it one of the Marquez guys?
Yeah, it's Herman Marquez. Yep, Herman.
Yeah. So I'm not overly fond. I mean, I don't think it's like super elite pitching or anything like that, and it's pretty tough to control those totals at Coors. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and go with the over in the money line on the Rockies in that game.
Well, staying with that game, I can't quite get to the money line. Like you've kind of talked about the Rockies money line. I looked at that game and I like the over. And the reason I like the over is a lot of the things you mentioned, but I can't get on that money line just because of the Rockies bullpen, right? Third worst opponent's batting average out of that bullpen at 278. Their FIP is 3.47 and their ERA is 5.65. So I'm not able to get on that Rockies money line with you, but how can you not like an over for everything you said?
Oh, it's fair enough. Yeah. That's why I listed the over as the first thing. I mean, if I had to pick just one, yes, absolutely the over. So perhaps we just agree there, and maybe that is the better play then, upon sharing information. But I do definitely like it, and the total's moving that way as well, from 11 to 11.5. So there's nothing fishy in the line that would say otherwise, and that's just generally what you can expect from a game at Coors with non-elite pitching.
Right. Yeah. No, and I just had to piggyback on that game because I do like your over. I mean, I like it enough to where I've also bet it from an angle as well. So, yeah, you get the Rockies versus left-handers and Steven Matz, as you said, but then you get the Cardinals offense against, Marquez here. They've got the fourth best batting average versus right-handers. They're hitting 284, so a hot offense. Fourth best on base percentage, 13th in slugging, and 10th and on base for slugging. Their K percentage is low here in the Cardinals at 19.6%, so we love that. Add in a decent walk percentage at a flat 10.0. Love that. Marquez, they faced them twice last season. They cashed their F5 team total in one of the two starts. Marquez with a little bit of a rocky one coming off a start against the Dodgers. This is just a great spot for a lot of runs, as you mentioned. I'm going to single out the Cardinals just because they've got the good numbers, where the Rockies against a left-hander, they're just decent, right? They're only hitting 242, so not explosive numbers. Ones where you think in this matchup against Mats, this is a chance for the bats to maybe come alive and have a nice day here at home. But I'm going to bet the numbers. I'm going to back the Cardinals offense, and I'm going to gravitate towards that F5 team total. But love your over. And then you add in that Rockies bullpen, runs are going to come all 9 innings of this game. So love your over as well. So I'm going to focus on the Cardinals, but love your over. What's another game you want to talk about?
I was just given 2 in the one game there. So that's all I had for around the bases. I have 3 long shots to make up for it if it's any, consolation, if that's the right word.
Okay. No, I'll jump into another game. I mean, you can't talk about around the bases without talking about Patrick Corbin. When it is Patrick Corbin Day, so he's on the mound, just take the F5 over. You get the luxury of the Angels could hit this F5 over all on their own with Corbin on the mound. Obviously, people know his numbers, right?
Possibly in the first inning.
Possibly in the first inning. I mean, worst starter last year, picking up right where he left off, 9 innings pitched, 17 hits allowed, 3, 8 earned runs, 2 home runs. Now, those were against the Braves and the Rays. I mean, that could be your only saving grace if you want to somehow find a way to bat Patrick Corbin. Can't imagine people really trying to do that, but it was against the Braves and the Rays. But I'm expecting the Angels to do a lot of damage. Boy, top 5 offense right now versus left-handed pitching is this Angels offense, hitting 319. And hell, the Nationals are pretty good in their own right versus left-handers, hitting 314, and they're taking on Jose Suarez, who got roughed up in his opener, 4.1 innings pitched, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 home runs. Suarez also had a terrible spring training where he allowed 343 opponents' batting average, a 1.73 whip. He also gave up 4 runs in 8.2 innings pitched. So I'm getting 2 starters and left-handers that are struggling in Corbin and Suarez, 2 offenses that are hot right now in left-handers, hitting 319 and 314. And hell, the Angels are actually number 1 in slugging. That sounds disastrous news for Patrick Corbin. You're facing the number 1 slugging team versus left-handers, slugging 586. They've also got the number 1 OPS as this Angels offense versus left-handers. Both of these teams aren't striking out versus left-handers, a 15.1 K percentage and an 18.7 K percentage. Give me runs and give me runs early. Take the F5 over between Nationals and Angels. All right,
Sure.
Shut up and pitch time. So we like to give out some pitching props. What do you got here in the 3rd inning?
Just one, but I'm going to revisit this game later as well. It's just the fact that the pitching props came up first in our 3rd inning. You look at a guy that can go deep in the game, and that's obviously Sandy Alcantara. You look at these totals, these strikeout props that have been high. there's a guy that can get it. It's Sandy Alcantara. I'm going to get plus 115 to go over 6.5. The numerical projection is 7. So are you cutting it a little bit close? Sure. But if you have a projection of 7 and you're getting plus money, that's where you're getting the perceived value. So I'm going to go ahead and take Alcantara. I'll get to something else in the Marlins game in a later inning here. But plus money at plus 115, and it might have been DraftKings or BetMGM, one of the two, that had that as a prop at 115.
Okay, cool. I'm going to stay with these. We'll obviously stay with the pitchers. We're in the third inning. Shut up and pitch. But I'm going to stay with more strikeout props. I'm going to do Jose Suarez. There are the Angels under 4.5 strikeouts at plus 110. Got 4 strikeouts in his opener against the Mariners. But the Mariners, who strike out the 4th most versus left-handers at 30.9%. The Nationals are 15.1, which is 3rd best. This Nationals team is hot for its left-handers. We mentioned they're hitting 319. They're not striking out. This is a guy that also doesn't have strikeout stuff. Only got 6 Ks and 8.2 innings pitched in spring training, which is an 8.5 K per 9. I'm liking the Nationals to keep this guy under 4.5 strikeouts at a good plus money. And a game in which I just told you I'm on the F5 over, so I'm expecting runs. So I wouldn't even be surprised if he doesn't last very long in this game. I can't ignore what the Nationals are doing right now versus left-handers. So that's a no-brainer one. And then what about Nick Pivetta? They're the Boston Red Sox. He's going to stay under 5.5 strikeouts. He's only going up against the number 1 offense in the Tampa Bay Rays that do not strike out. Their strikeout percentage is 14.8%. 14.8%. That is outstanding stuff. He may have gotten 6 strikeouts against the Pirates, but they're at 21.9%. So you can see he's getting a much tougher opponent here in the Tampa Bay Rays. He went up against the Rays 4 times in 2022. How about strikeouts of 5, 3, 4, 4? That's 4 cashes and 4 starts up against this Tampa Bay Rays. And overall in 2022, he stayed under in 22 of 33 starts. Not a strikeout guy, getting the number 1 offense in the Tampa Bay Rays. Yeah, Nick Pivetta staying under 5.5 strikeouts today at minus 130. It's time to find these guys a long shot. What's the best underdog today on the board here in long shot, Squirrel?
I believe there's 3 of them.
Okay.
You know, and when you take a long shot, when you take an underdog, of course, there's going to be reasons to dislike it because that's why they're not a favorite, right? I mean, they're not expected to win per se, or there's less of a chance of it. So when I was talking about trends back in the Rockies game, there is a trend very strong with Logan Webb at home. So I think this is the latest game tonight, the Dodgers and the Giants. I will take the Giants on the money line there this evening with Logan Webb. I do expect the game to be low scoring as well, so an under would not be a bad play if you didn't want to pick a side. Got to think as well. I don't remember if it's for home runs. I think the Giants Stadium is at Oracle Park because of the air density. Right? Even with the wind, I think there is a wind blowing out, but do not let that fool you because I think this is the lowest park for home runs in the entire league, if I'm not mistaken. So very hard to produce runs there because of air density, but then you throw on elite pitching there with Logan Webb and I think Julio Urias, is that how you pronounce it? Mm-hmm. Urias. So I'll take the Giants there, though, as my first play on the money line for an underdog. The next one, I don't remember who I went against Shane Bieber with the last time, but it did work out for me. Definitely wasn't as good of a team as the New York Yankees. You have an elite pitcher, yes, in Shane Bieber, but it is going against a elite lineup there. So I do like it. Domingo Germán, again, is that elite pitching? Is that really a good matchup for Shane Bieber? We'd say, of course not. But how often are you getting the Yankees at a plus 135 price? And if they can get by him, what does the Guardians bullpen look like? I'm not as in tune with that as you are, if that's something that you're familiar with or know the numbers off the top of your head.
Yeah, you're going to be in trouble if they haven't gotten to Bieber because that's a top 3 bullpen. They're going to.
Okay.
They're going to be in trouble. That's a tough dog because obviously Bieber's tough, and then that bullpen behind him is going to be really tough.
I'm into making picks that aren't pretty, man, and it's worked out well enough, that I'm up 11 and 11.7 units so far on a lot of these picks that people, including yourself, tell me no way in hell. And then here's one that is the ugliest of all. Generally never jump in front of an absolute train,
Oh
and
boy.
they have to lose sometime. The only undefeated team left out there. Pavetta doesn't have to go over on the strikeouts, but the line would absolutely suggest that the sharp action is on the Boston Red Sox at a plus 140 is what I managed to get. It might be down to plus 130 at this point, so I'm hoping I got the best of the number there, but that is what I'll take for my 3 long shots today.
And if you had to rank them, obviously the first one you mentioned is the one you feel the strongest in, just for the viewing audience. Did you kind of give those out in I guess confidence
Yeah,
level?
I never generally rank my plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say, though, probably in terms of comfortability, that would probably be the order just because, you're getting a strong pitcher and a strong team at home in the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dodgers are one of those teams that are always going to be overpriced. Yankees are a team that's overpriced as well quite often, so that's why I'm saying if you're getting them at a plus 135, I don't think it's a bad thing to try. And the longest shot probably is the Boston Red Sox, but
Mm-hmm.
as far as the story that line is telling, I think they stand a chance at ruining the perfect record there of the Rays. So
Okay, good. And don't forget, if you like those dogs just like Squirrel does, hop on over to Bet Openly. You're going to get the biggest dog price over at Bet Openly,
absolutely,
so you'll be
well,
able to make the most money.
yeah,
So I've got a dog. Obviously, I've got an underdog as well. I like the Milwaukee Brewers today at plus 125, taking on your Arizona Diamondbacks. And I really wanted to bet this game, guys. I mean, a lot of my handicapping is who's the hot offenses up against the
you're
bad
going
pitching.
against Zach
And
Gallen.
we want to take, yeah, we want to, you're right, I'm going against that count. And we want to obviously take the over. You get two really hot offenses in this matchup. I mean, Brewers are number 2 right now versus right-handed pitching. And then the Arizona Diamondbacks, they're 8th right now against left-handers. Hell, they're hitting 304 versus left-handers and a really good batting sample size at 119 at-bats. You're getting two smoking hot offenses. You're also getting two pitchers, though, that can come into this job. That's why I didn't really bet an F5 over. I didn't bet a team total, is because you didn't get the dream matchup of the hot hitting and the bad pitching. You just get the hot hitting in this one. Wade Miley doing really good in his opening start, obviously outstanding. Never even gave up a run. And Zach Gallen's got it in him. It gets full on in his locker. This is a matchup that it's going to go, I don't know, but you get this really good hot batting here by the Milwaukee Brewers. But what I'm liking the Brewers, though, is I think the pitcher matchup will be even with Wade Miley. He'll be able to match Zach Gallen. I'm really not too concerned about that. Then once I get in this bullpen, now I'm getting all the advantages here for the Brewers. How about first in opponent's batting average, first in ERA, third in WHIP, and third best home run per 9. So if this does become a close game, whether that's a low scoring game through first 5 because these offenses want to, or these pitchers want to deal, or if it's high scoring through the first 5 because the pitching doesn't show up, but these both hot offenses show up. Whenever this becomes a bullpen game, look for the Brewers to dominate the back half of this game, and I love them at plus 125 to go ahead and pull out the win. So I'll take the Brewers today at plus 125 as my best dog today on the board. All right,
Good
5th
luck,
inning,
man.
keep swinging. I've got a lot of hitting props today. Do you have anything?
I do actually, and they're in the same game. So I'm going to tell you the names, and then you can do whatever you want with them. I looked at some of the prices. There's, um, you know, I saw the names first, and then went and looked at the odds. And surprisingly, or maybe unsurprisingly, I don't know, they were some of the lowest odds, right? Which would mean that they're the most likely to do these things. So the most likely player to hit a home run in the game, I believe, is C.J. Cron of the Rockies. Also, to do whatever, to get 2 or more total bases, so I guess over 1.5 total bases there, to record a run, him and the other guy on the other team, Paul Goldschmidt. Both of these guys, I think, are the top on their team for facing the respective pitchers today, although Goldschmidt has seen Marquez a lot more than Cron has seen Matz. But in Cron's at-bats against Matz, he's had 4 hits on 5 at-bats, so something there that he must like about going against Steven Matz. So in terms of batters in a game where we expect a ton of offense, and if you're rooting for that over already, you might as well take a look at a couple of batters there on each side to get that done. It's hits and runs have to come from somewhere. So there you are with the batters.
All right, so you like C.J. Cron to get some damage today. Like I said, I've got a fair amount. I've got a good mix. I've got a total bases guy. I've got a guy that can strike out, a guy that can get you a hit, a guy that maybe can't get a hit. Let's go ahead and run through those, and let's go ahead and first start with Paul Goldschmidt. That's a game that we both like a lot of runs that we've talked about. Paul Goldschmidt, there of the Cardinals, over 1.5 total bases at minus 125. He's 17 for 40 off Marquez. He's got 4 doubles and 4 home runs, so that's to the tune of a 425 batting average. He comes into this game hitting really well. He's hitting 333 on the season. And if he can't get it done against Marquez, shockingly, then let's go up against this Rockies bullpen that I mentioned is terrible, why I kind of like the over in this game. They've got the 3rd worst opponent's batting average at 278. So I love Goldschmidt to do damage off Marquez and then just to keep feasting off of this terrible bullpen. So I really like Goldschmidt, over 1.5 total bases. What about Wilmer Flores, there of the San Francisco Giants? Take him to get a strikeout at minus 150. Really struggling off Julio Urias, hitting 200 and has got 9 Ks and 30 at-bats. So, if Urias can go 3 times through the rotation, go 6 innings, which isn't unheard of, he's probably going to face him 3 times, and there's a strong chance he's going to get a K in one of those 3 at-bats. So I love Flores there of the Giants to get a K. What about Loreno of the Oakland Athletics to get a hit? Maybe an over 0.5 hits parlay candidate. He's 8 for 15 off Kyle Gibson. That's hitting 533. He's got 2 doubles and 2 home runs in those 8 hits off Kyle Gibson. So like that. Add in Eric Hosmer. If you want to do an over 0.5 hits parlay, I think Loreno and Hosmer are great candidates. Hosmer really knows Luis Castillo from their NL days. He's 10 for 16 off Castillo, so like that one. And then what about this one, a guy that cannot get a hit today? It's at plus money, plus 155. Aaron Judge has struggled off Shane Bieber. Only 1 hit and 11 at-bats off Bieber, 6 Ks off Bieber. And if he hasn't done it against Bieber, again, the second best bullpen in opponent's batting average is the Cleveland Guardians, so he could struggle all day. I think Aaron Judge could be a guy at a good plus 155 that you take to not get a hit. That is scary, but I think he could deliver. So just to recap, I think Goldschmidt to go over his total bases, Flores to get a strikeout of the Giants, Loreno and Hosmer are your candidates for an over 0.5 hits parlay, and Aaron Judge is not going to get a hit today off Bieber in that bullpen. So 6th inning, it's a steal. What do you got for It's a Steal today, Squirrel?
I don't know about the current price. I was just kind of flipping through DraftKings real quick to check a few things out, but obviously, shop the lines. Miami Marlins is what I'll go back to on the money line. I think you could do this a number of different ways. I've already gotten down on the Marlins in the pitching aspect with Sandy Alcantara to get over the strikeouts. I think you could do the first 5, although you're paying more than you're going to full game. And Alcantara is the type of dude to go 7, 8, or 9 innings on his own. So, if he's out there having a good day, the day you expect him to have and the day he normally produces, I paid a little less to take the full game just because I expect him to go deep and get the strikeouts. And even if it takes somebody out of the bullpen to finish the game off, I feel pretty comfortable that by that time they should already be up on Matt Strom and the Phillies. So I'm going to say my steal is a minus 120 on the Miami Marlins there.
Love that bet. I mean, look at what they did last time in his start, against the Twins where they won 1-0. He's the guy, and they do it with a lot of aces, but a lot of these bad teams really do it, is these are games they want to win. So when he goes 7, 8 innings, you're going to get their good bullpen arms. He's going to keep that game right close and right there. So, all right, I like your pick right there, the Marlins, to go ahead and pick off a win for It's a Steal. I'm going to go ahead. It's nerfy, but not nerfy, guys. We're going no-run 2nd inning. Make sure you place this one properly. It's no-run 2nd inning. Let's do that Marlins-Phillies game. Marlins, Phillies, no-run 2nd inning. Really avoiding the big bats here. Really, so that would be the idea, right? I don't need to avoid I don't need to go up against a Trey Turner and a Bryce Harper and a Kyle Schwarber. I mean, Trey Turner alone could draw a walk, steal second base, and now I'm sweating my ass off. Bottom first, no outs, runner on second is Trey Turner. So, no, thank you. I'll avoid big bats. I'll take Alcantara, who should be dominant through much of this game. And then Matt Strom, there, the Phillies, he's just been really stinking good, in both starts this season. So, like that. And he could also be a candidate to go short in this game. It could be a bullpen game for the Phillies. Look at his outings, 1 innings pitch, 4 innings pitch. There's nothing to say that maybe he goes 2 innings or maybe 1 inning, and that's going to favor these Phillies out of the bullpen. So I like everything about this. These two teams, in fairness, are scoring more runs in the second inning than they are in the first inning, but that's got to change over time with this Phillies lineup and obviously the guys they have hitting 1 through 3. So I'm going to avoid the big bats for both of these teams. Go no run second inning at -140 for the Marlins and Phillies. Best bet. I went 4-0 last week on best bets. Obviously, remember we didn't do it on Thursday's show. I'm looking to stay hot on the best bets. What about you, Squirrel? What's your best bet today?
I don't remember what my record was last week, but I have a real juicy game today. I'm going to take, seriously, and I gave this out to my members, so I really did bet this. I'm not just saying this because I really laid a -173 on a money line. And that was with Framber Valdez and the Houston Astros against the Pittsburgh Pirates, who just lost O'Neal Cruz to a left leg injury yesterday. If you saw that, he was sliding into home plate. I don't know if it was the knee or the ankle. It kind of looked like it would have been the knee, but I have to imagine he's not going to be in the game. Then you have Roansy Contreras. So you have Roansy Contreras going against Framber Valdez. I don't think that that's a good matchup in the least, and the money line suggests, quite obviously at -170 that that's the case. I think he's only got a career of like 90 innings or something like that. Maybe he pitched like 54 something along those lines last year. And Valdez, geez, I mean, if you saw how he did last year, if you look at his career stats, what would you expect different other than more great pitching? And, I think the Astros want to get on track here, right? Obviously, they haven't been the team that they generally are without Altuve, and I think that really is making them struggle. They dropped 2 to the Tigers, I think 2 to the White Sox, and 2 to the Twins here, which, I took the Twins in the first game there on that home opener, that bottom of the 10th inning walk-off, and I took the Houston Astros yesterday. So I at least cashed in 2 of those games. And I think they start to get back on track here against the Pirates today with a really good matchup. So if there's a game I'm willing to lay the juice, it's the Houston Astros. And that's going to be my absolute best bet if you're just looking for the most likely to win game today.
All right, cool. Your best bet is the Houston Astros. My best bet is the best team in baseball, at least from a record standpoint. We'll find out here in a little bit how good they are. Obviously, they're going to get in some better competition. They've played the Tigers, Nationals, and Athletics, but you can only play who's on the schedule, and they've gotten all 9 wins in those 9 games. I'm going to keep backing the Tampa Bay Rays. I backed the Rays 4 times last week and went 4-0. I'm going to keep betting them as long as they're hot. And they obviously are hot. How about number 1 in batting average? How about number 1 in on-base percentage? How about number 1 in slugging? How about number 1 in OPS? How about I want to back the number 1 team? I'm taking that Rays FI team total, and it comes in at even money. To go along with being number 1 in basically every hitting category that you would care about, they've got a great K percentage at 14.8%. We mentioned that in taking Pavetta's under 5.5 Ks. They've got a great walk percentage at 13.5%. Pavetta let the Pittsburgh Pirates get 3 runs off of him. Nowhere near the number 1 offense versus right-handers. The Pirates can do it. You like the chances of the Rays can do it. And obviously there's a lot of hitter familiarity with this to be in a divisional matchup. They went up against Pavetta 4 times last year, got 2 cashes in those 4, missed on the hook, but they weren't the number 1 offense last year. They are the number 1 offense. I'm going to keep backing the Rays. Hard for me to not back them when looking at those numbers. So I'll take the number 1
Is that a
offense.
-150?
Even money, over 2.5, -150 for an F5 team total. F5.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I was thinking you were going money line.
I'm not going to go money line. I mean, I'm not scared, of your underdog pick, or I'm not scared of them losing. Everybody knows how my handicapping goes. Yeah, give me the F5. I'm going to take them at even money.
Sure.
So, all right, favorite parlay today. That's what we do here in the 8th inning called double play. What's your favorite parlay today, Squirrel?
I don't know the price on it, but I think I would have to go the Astros and Marlins. I mean, if I were to take 2, that'd be a -120, and then the heavier favorite there. Let's see. I got the Marlins. This is what I was trying to do, and forgot about it a little bit. I wanted to find what the price would be. Houston Astros, here they are. +175, but there's no way that those are the best prices. So, shop around, but I'd take those 2 pretty comfortably, I think.
Astros and Marlins. I heard that? Astros and Marlins.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. I'm looking to cash, I think, my only second parlay of the season. I come off a good one on Friday at +184. Remember, we took those 2 pitching props. I'm going to stay away from money lines again today. And I'm going to take the Pirates run line and the Cubs run line. Each of these teams are getting 1.5 runs. So obviously I disagree a little bit here on this Pirates game than what the Squirrel does. He liked the Houston Astros. I don't like the Houston Astros. Look, the Pittsburgh Pirates bullpen has a better FIP, has a better ERA, has a better whip, and a better opponent's batting average than that Houston Astros bullpen. So I feel completely comfortable if this becomes a tight game late in the game. Not only do I get 1.5 runs to begin with, but I'm getting the better bullpen in the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm actually getting the better offense, too, in the Pittsburgh Pirates. You mentioned Valdez. Sure, good, tough lefty. But the Pirates come in really good. They're hitting .292 versus left-handers. That's a top 10 offense right now versus left-handers. The only thing that gives you a little bit of pause concern right there is the number of plate appearances is only 53. So not ideal sample size. But what they've seen, they've done really well. As opposed to this Houston Astros offense that you mentioned, no Altuve, continue to struggle overall. Struggling versus right-handers, only hitting .230. No power to the plate, slugging .323. So I'm going to take the better offense. I'm going to take by far the better bullpen, while admittedly not getting the better starter, but I'm getting a run and a half. And I'll do the same thing with the Cubs in this situation. You've got the Cubs at home today taking on the Mariners. Well, the Mariners team that can't hit left-handers right now, they're seeing Drew Smyly, which that breaking ball can be tough against teams that are struggling versus left-handers. And you're getting Luis Castillo there for the Mariners. Back for his Reds days, you can imagine the Reds or the Cubs, they've seen Castillo a lot. They've got some great batting averages against him. And another game, if it comes down to a bullpen, you're getting the better bullpen in the Cubs against the Mariners. So I'll take two teams that I like in my long shot. I just like the Brewers a ton more. I'll take the Cubs and the Pirates, both getting a run and a half, is my favorite parlay of the day, and it comes in at plus 234. So Cubs, Pirates, run line parlay, plus 234. All right, let's go ahead and disclose our bets, and then let's do rapid fire, which we forgot again on Friday. Just forgot on Friday. All right, let's go ahead and throw these bets up. I've got 8 bets today, Squirrel, and you got a nice little.
Yeah, I have quite a few as well. I don't normally give out a ton of them, but. Yeah, a lot of stuff we talked about already, obviously. Cardinals and Rockies will go over, and the money line there, the Mariners, or sorry, not the Mariners, Marlins, minus 120 with the Alcantara over 6.5 strikeouts. The Giants underdog, and then I can't see the bottom two there because my face is covering it.
You've got Yankees money line at plus 135 and Red Sox at plus 140. As your last two.
Sure. Yeah. If you're gonna play one of those, I don't know. I figured I might as well play all three because if I try to sit there and pick and choose, I'll lose the one that I give out and I'll win the other two. And
right.
That's how that goes.
All right. As you guys can see right there, 7 of those bets I've already tweeted on Twitter. The only new one that was new to you guys was Goldschmidt. Over 1.5 total bases, minus 125. Love everything about Goldschmidt. Otherwise, you knew about the Cardinals F5 team total, the Rays F5 team total, Nats, Angels F5 over, the no-run second inning in Marlins, Phillies, and then the 3 pitching props. We'll do an under, Zach Greinke I didn't talk about here, but we're 2-0. We know the control. The Rangers also walk percentage is 7.6. So while I am blindly betting Zach Greinke under 1.5 walks, of course I did look it up. The Rangers only draw the walk 7.6% of the time. That is beautiful if we're taking an under 1.5 walks. And Zach Greinke, a guy we trust, will take under 1.5 walks at minus 120. All right, let's jump on in. Let's do some rapid fire now. Let's do it. Only one day game today, Squirrel. It's the White Sox and the Twins. Over under of 7.5. You get Cease versus Maeda. White Sox minus 115. Twins minus 105. How are we playing this one?
I have an opinion on both, on the total and the money line. If I was going to play a side, I would take the White Sox just because of line movement. And if I was going to play a total, I'd go under the 7.5. Or I don't know. Maybe if first 5 NRFI is like warranted, but some capacity I'd go the under and I'd take the White Sox.
I like the over, folks. This White Sox team is 5th best in Major League in terms of hitting right-handers, hitting .277, comes in at number 5. We know this White Sox bullpen. I mean, it's bottom of the barrel, worse average, worse ERA, worse FIP. I mean, I don't know how anybody can back the White Sox. So in terms of a side, give me the Twins money line at minus 105, but give me the over first. Give me the over. I think the White Sox bats will come through. And if you haven't hit Dylan Cease, then you get the worst bullpen in baseball to wake up against. So I like the over, and I like the Twins. Yankees and Guardians with an over-under of 7.5. Yankees plus 130. Guardians minus 150. We know the Squirrel likes the Yankees. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Guardians. I'm going to take them at minus 150. Astros and Pirates, over under of 7.5. Astros minus 180, Pirates plus 155. We differ on this game. What about a side or a total? We know what side you like, and I. What about a total? 7.5.
It's one of those deals where, if the Pirates are strictly average and, can put up 2 runs or whatever, 2-3 runs, again, the Astros stand a chance at hitting the over on their own, possibly, in this game without O'Neal Cruz and with Roansy Contreras. I don't think I would try to take an under. Otherwise, you'd be asking basically the Pirates to put up no runs. So I think I'd go over. 7.5 is what I see, but it's juiced. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, I certainly like the over too. Obviously, with liking the Pirates to possibly even get the win or certainly cover the run line. Yeah, I think the Pirates will contribute to an over. So give me over 7.5. Athletics and Orioles with an over/under of 8. Athletics come in at plus 155. Orioles at minus 180. I think this is an Orioles run line at plus money, plus 105. They're going really good versus left-handers. J.P. Sears can certainly get knocked around by this good Orioles offense. So I like to take the Orioles run line, plus 105.
I went under in this game, under 8.
Okay. Red Sox plus 135 against the Rays at minus 155 with an over-under of 8.5. Here's the deal with Jalen Beeks, the Rays. This is going to be a bullpen game. He's only going to go about 2 innings, and then they're going to have to hand it over.
Yeah, I saw the strikeout prop was 1.5. So
I wanted to take it. I wanted to take it. Tells you he's only
under, right?
One. Not necessarily, because if he pitches 2 innings, he's probably going to pick up 1 strikeout per inning. So it depends. If he goes 1 inning,
sure. I mean, the projection was to go under 1.5, or that was at least numerically the value, and it's just something I was looking at in Jalen Beeks to go under 1.5. But I think it might have been pretty juiced, so I might have stayed away from it.
Tough one. I am going to go ahead and side with the over, knowing that the Rays can hit that over all on their own. They've been doing it. Hell, they did it yesterday. So I'm going to take the Rays and the over.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on the Red Sox, and I don't really have an opinion on the total.
Marlins and Phillies, over/under of 8. Marlins minus 130, Phillies plus 110. We know you like that Marlins money line that you gave out already, so I will side with, let me get a quick check into the bullpen for a second. Even though I know it's going to come down to Alcantara going 7 or 8. I want to refresh my brain. The Phillies. I'm taking the Phillies at plus 110. Their bullpen's right there with the Marlins across the board. I think Strom turns this into a bullpen game in its own right. And then I'll take the bats. So I'm going Phillies as an underdog, plus 110, small dog. Padres and Mets with an over-under of 7.5. Padres plus 115. Mets minus 135. Scherzer versus Darvish. Good pitching matchup on this one. I'm going to take the Padres. I don't understand why the Mets are minus 135. Obviously, you get Scherzer, but the Mets offense is terrible. Terrible this season. Yeah, give me the Padres. Plus 115.
I'm absolutely same thought process on the Padres. I saw the line come down from 120, 122 to, I don't know, 118, 115. Is this a place where something like a NRFI would belong with Darvish and Scherzer?
NRFI. Man, Darvish is terrible in the first inning. I wouldn't do the NRFI. Darvish is real bad with the first inning. And Scherzer, his first innings, I remember from 2022, aren't that good. I would probably do, this is another inning where if you like the NRFI, if you differ than me and you're like, well, dude, I actually like it. Do no run second.
Go second inning?
Go no run second inning.
Sure.
Like, just avoid all these dangerous, your Sotos, your Machados. Like, just avoid all that crap. And go no run second inning.
Okay.
I found now when I gave out the Marlins Phillies, just to let people know, the NRFI was minus 130. And I gave out minus 140 for call it the nrsi. I will pay 10 more cents to avoid all those good bats. You may find something similar here for Padres Mets. Pay 10 cents more and get 4 through 6 hitters, 4 through 7, something like that, for sure. All right, Reds and Braves with an over/under of 8.5. Reds come in at plus 160. Braves come in at minus 190. You got Ashcraft versus Elder. Hard not to like the Braves in that offense. So yeah, give me Braves.
Yeah, and I do, but not in terms of paying the money line. I think I like them in terms of seeing runs, so I went with the over.
Runs with the over. Okay. Mariners and Cubs with an over/under of 8.5. Mariners come in at minus 150. Cubs come in at plus 130. Obviously, I like the Cubs from a over-under perspective, I'll also go with the over.
I love Castillo, and I didn't get enough time to check his strikeout props, but I really like him as a pitcher. I'm pretty sure he used to be on the Reds, but he was somebody that caught my eye anyway. So, I don't know, maybe Mariners, like, I don't know if you'd have to pay more in the first 5 or if I could look at a Castillo prop or something, but somehow I would probably back the Mariners personally, but that's just me.
Yeah, man, I would be nervous. Cubs pretty good right now. Top 10 offense versus right-handers, hitting 270. Their K percentage is 18.
Yeah, it's just because you live there,
so it's low. It's low, and they know Castillo. A lot of good batting averages off of Castillo, so that would make me a touch nervous. I would go under on his strikeout prop, by the way, at 18.8% K percentage. All right, Royals and Rangers, over-under of 8.5. Royals plus 150, Rangers minus 175. Haney and the Rangers have no desire. They have not earned a minus 175. But that being said, the Royals bullpen's god awful, and that offense is so awful. I don't want to do the Royals at plus 150 either. I'm taking the under 8.5 runs.
Yeah.
Under.
This is a game I didn't touch in any capacity. I felt no real edge one way or the other. In reality, it's a skip for me. I don't have any opinion. No value.
You'd like to think that the Royals could do this up against Haney, but have really poor average right now versus left-hander. So if I'm betting a side, I would do the Royals. But yeah, to me, the under 8.5 is a lot better. Cardinals and Rockies.
Just because I love underdogs, I'll take 150.
Okay. Cardinals and Rockies with an over-under of 11.5. Make sure you're following Squirrel on Twitter. He gave out over 11, so you'd already be on the better side, as we've now seen an over 11.5. Cardinals minus 145. Rockies plus 125. You need a 12 to get a cash, so I'm going to come along on that over 11.5. I don't see any reason why the over can't hit in Coors Field with these offenses.
Right.
So
yeah.
Over.
Same.
Nationals and Angels, over under of 10. Nationals plus 200. Angels minus 240. I guess I'm taking the over. I like the F5 over, so I'll take the full game over.
Sounds good to me. I didn't bet the game any which way, so.
Brewers and Diamondbacks, obviously best dog of the day for me is the Brewers, so I like them at plus 120. Diamondbacks minus 140 with an over-under of 9, so I'm just going to stick to that Brewers dog. That's how much I like them.
I may or may not have laid the price for the Diamondbacks, but we won't talk about it.
Well, did you or not? Did you or not?
You have to join Hockey Squirrel for that kind of information, sir. It's top secret classified Discord, bro.
Okay. Dodgers and Giants with an over-under of 7. Dodgers minus 145. Giants plus 125. Webb at home. We know those games stay under. Webb at home's a different pitcher for whatever reason. So I'll take the under.
Yeah, under or the Giants. I do like both. Generally, I wouldn't take an underdog with an under on the total, but the pitching matchup's great. I think you're getting, obviously, two great teams from all aspects, so it's just how good is Logan Webb going to do, and he's been on some insane run. I mean, last year, I don't even remember, it was like 18-2 or something, 16-2 at home. It was some ridiculous home pitching statistics. So when trends stand out that much, maybe you play it like the Rockies at home. Rockies left-hander thing. Rockies over at Coors. It's park factors. It's whatever. A lot of different things. I mean, I'm sure luck's involved in a lot of this stuff, but
yeah. I mean, I know if you're going off the top of your head with Logan Webb's, record at home, but it's something ridiculous like that. Like it is something.
No, I know.
It is something near like 17-2. I mean, you're exactly right. Just really stinking good at home. So, yeah, I'll take an under of that. All right, looks like you've got a lot of great bets on the screen. I've got a lot of great bets on the screen. This looks like a great day to go ahead and put some money in your pocket. Don't forget, we won't be with you guys tomorrow. So the next time we'll be here on the Payoff Pitch is Wednesday, live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday, live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Tell your friends. Come on. We're both on fire through the first week of the MLB season. Come on back and join us on Wednesday. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. Go enjoy your Monday. See you, fellas.
You too. Have a good day.